But fellas, let's move on. You know what? Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys again. Let's talk about just when you thought that just Cowboy fans, I'm gonna get on them, not on Thomas, because Thomas from On the Hot Podcast, diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. At least he's objective. I will give him credibility for that. Dallas Cowboy fans, y'all make me sick. And y'all kept talking, oh, we gonna get Prime. We gonna get Dion Sanders. Oh, okay, we gonna get Pete Carroll. We gonna get all these coaches. Brian Schottenheimer as your head coach and as your defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You ain't going anywhere with Jerry Jones running the show. Okay? Jerry might call you right now. I'll give you a 1 year, $2 million contract if you coach this team. We can go hang out at the crib for beer and nachos. Even though you're going to have to sell your Atlanta Falcons and become a Dallas Cowboy, even though Mama Chad would be happy to see you wear some Cowboys gear. But Jerry Jones, man, like I said before, man, he ain't changing. When you reach a certain point in age, you ain't changing. And he's going to continue to hire yes men and surround himself with yes people. Stephen Jones was the same person that talked him out of drafting Johnny Manziel. So, champ, I'm going to let you go. The flow is yours.
Jerry. Come on, man. You know what? You know who the Cowboys fans sound like?
What?
You sound like Laker fans. Every year, we're going to get this free agent. We're going to get that free agent. We're going to get this guy. We're going to get that guy. And we won't get nobody. We're going to hire this coach. We're going to get that coach. We're going to trade LeBron. We're going to get Anthony Davis some help. We won't get no one. So you have officially become the Los Angeles Lakers of the NFL. A lot of delusion, a lot of empty promises, a lot of sad excuses and false hopes high. That was ridiculous. And the thing is, you have to ask yourself this. If you had all of these superstar coaches available, even Robert Saleh, before he went back to San Francisco, before he went back to the Bay, he was available. If all of these superstar coaches was available and none of them chose to go there, it says a lot about their franchise more than it does the coaches. And look, I understand we got to give Brian Schottenheimer some grace. We got to give him a little bit of time. But the thing is, it's not like they went out and hired a Todd Monken, who was a successful offensive coordinator, like very successful to the point where, yes, this is the greatest that we've ever seen Lamar Jackson, or this was the greatest that we it's not like we've seen that level. He's a good offensive coordinator, but not one of these guys like a Todd Monken, like a Ben Johnson, like a Zach Robinson, none of those guys, even a Kellen Moore. He's not one of those guys that, oh my God, he's going to be special as a head coach when he comes to. No. He's good. He get the job done. But other than that, it's like, all right. Because the first thing I was like, first thing I think about when I think about Brian Schottenheimer, I'm like, well, you ain't your daddy. So, I don't have, if it was Marty that got hired, God rest his soul, I'd have clapped. Jerry, you did your thing on this one. But it's not Marty. If Marty would have went to Dallas, Dallas would have had themselves something. Like I said, unfortunately, great Marty Schottenheimer passed away. One hell of a coach, will be in the Hall of Fame one day, over 200 wins as a coach, changed the culture for a lot of teams. If it was Marty that had gotten hired, I would clap for the Cowboys. But unfortunately, it was not. And Brian Schottenheimer's resume really doesn't impress me. I'm not really impressed. It's like when I look at Aaron Glenn, I say I'm impressed. When I look at Robert Saleh with his record with the defenses, although his teams were not that good, I say I'm impressed. When I look at Ben Johnson, I say I'm impressed. when I look at Antoine Randall L and the job that he did with the wide receivers up there in Detroit, I say I'm impressed. When I look at Brian Schottenheimer, even with the job, the only time where I have seen him that offense really shine was like 2008 with the Jets when they was top 10 in offense, and last year when Dak had one of his best seasons. Other than that, I'm really not in awe. So it's like, you hired him for what? This is the same thing. This is like history repeating itself. You had a real high-profile coach when you had Wade Phillips there in the early 2000s, and you made Jason Garrett the highest-paid offensive coordinator in the league. And lo and behold, when Wade Phillips got fired, who's coaching in the XFL right now, he got fired. Lo and behold, who did you hire? Jason Garrett, who didn't do anything but clap his way through a whole coaching tenure, and you was afraid to fire him. So history has just repeated itself. The only difference is we're not as impressed with Brian Schottenheimer as we were with Jason Garrett. At least with Jason Garrett, you can say we're darned. He did at least provide a lot of high-powered offense for this team with Tony Romo at the helm. That offense was high-powered. But with Brian Schottenheimer, I'm looking like, I don't know what. Like I said, I'm not even a Cowboys fan. But it's kind of weird when you see teams like them and the Lakers, who were perennial winners, who their whole history says we're winners, make dumb hirings like this. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And like I said, if all of these superstar coaches was lined up, Robert Saleh, just to name a few, you even interviewed your own offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore. He even got interviewed. Not even him. So, Jerry, look, I hope that you know what you're doing. Look, I hope you do know what you're doing, because from what it looks like, you don't anymore. And look, like I said, you're not really making these coaching hires the way you need to. You're not attracting free agents like you used to. You're not making the big moves. The last big move that you made, shout out to PSP, was the Amari Cooper trade. When you made that trade, since then, you really haven't made any moves. You knew you needed a running back this offseason. You didn't make that move. So it's going to be interesting to see what you do in this upcoming draft. Because if you do so much, if wipe your hands sideways, you're going to get criticized. And it's going to be a whole nother year all over again. Because I don't see you going anywhere, and I don't see you going anywhere fast. And look, the Eagles have already caught and passed you. The Washington Commanders have already caught and passed you, with a hell of a lot less talent, by the way. And to their credit, you can say what you will about the New York Giants, but guess what? They have a hell of a lot of building blocks on that team that can help them win in the future. When you talk about Malik Neighbors, Sexy Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kavion Thibodeau, guys like that. They got a lot of guys on that team that are hella talented. Only thing they need is a trigger man, that being a quarterback. So don't be surprised if they draft Cam Ward next year and you find the Cowboys in 4th place. Ineptitude is the key word in Dallas at this point. Because when you go down from being able to hire superstar head coaches like a Bill Parcells, like a Mike McCarthy, and you have to hire your offensive coordinator because nobody will come there and coach for this team. It used to be the dream job. Going to America's team used to mean something. It used to mean something. But now, much like the Las Vegas Raiders, hopefully Pete Carroll can turn around. Much like that organization, you're hiring anybody you can in-house because you can pull the strings. And it's disgusting. And you're about to be a laughingstock in a minute. Especially if this investment in Dak does not pay off. Because it's going to be a long, long time before you see a quarterback class like you just saw this past year in Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels and company, and you see another quarterback class like this year when you think about Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders, and Cam Ward. This is an embarrassment. Like I said, Cowboys used to stand for winning, and more winning, and looking good while doing it, much like the Lakers. But it's unfortunately, they have become the football version of the Lakers, and the fans are just as delusional. We're going to get this guy. We're going to get that guy. You didn't get anything. You got Brian Schottenheimer. And I don't want to hear, and when week one come around and y'all win one game, I don't want to hear nothing about them boys unless you go back to the playoffs and get to an NFC championship. Because guess what? Much like the Pittsburgh Steelers, just like them, playoffs are not the standard for the Dallas Cowboys. Super Bowls are. Let that sink in.
Dallas Cowboys went from America's team to now all of a sudden a reality TV show called Basketball Housewives. That's how it seems like to me. BRF?
Man. Every time NFL season going on, my favorite meme is when they Photoshop all the quarterbacks' heads together and they have them looking in that top, just seeing if y'all still them boys. But that being said, man, I don't know what to say. Like I really don't. Like you know how I feel about them. It's like like every time you say the Dallas Cowboys, like when you talk about Mike McCarthy and all that stuff, and I was just like, man, I don't care. It's like it's like why it's like no, like this is not surprising at all. Like why should we expect any more from this franchise? Why should we expect any more from them? I mean, PSP pretty much hit the nail on the head. They ain't winning nothing with Jerry Jones as the owner and the general manager. They ain't winning nothing because Jerry Jones he's gonna hire people he wants as opposed to people he needs. And Brian Schottenheimer has a long resume as far as like his being an offensive coordinator, whether it's college, whether it's the pros. But even still, even having a long resume, that doesn't necessarily mean you're the right guy for the job. And then Matt Eberflus, fresh off of getting fired by the Chicago Bears, just like what I mean, and even as a defensive coordinator, I mean, he's had brief success, but not it's Matt Eberflus' resume should not warrant the opportunity of being the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. That just shows how low they've fallen when you're having to hire guys like Brian Schottenheimer and Matt Eberflus for the head coach and defensive coordinator positions. That just shows how far they've fallen, because before, Dallas was that franchise. They could just throw money at anybody, and because they was the Dallas Cowboys, more than likely they're going to take the bait and they're going to go. The problem is we've seen this dog and pony show a little bit too much and way too many times, and people are getting sick of it. And like honestly, that's ultimately probably why Dion didn't take the job. He know Jerry gonna be in his ill 24/7 for trying to tell him what to do. And Coach Prime, with his ego and with his cachet, he ain't standing for that. He ain't gonna stand for that. That's why ultimately he didn't take the Cowboy job. He not gonna take an owner to try to tell him what to do. When Dion is, even though he's had a brief career as a college head coach, just the atmosphere he's going to want to cultivate, bringing a winning culture to Dallas, like what he did at Jackson State and what he's starting to do at Buffalo, he's going to want to try to cultivate that. That's why I said I don't blame Deion Sanders one bit for not going to the Dallas Cowboys, because why you don't? Because I promise you, even if he went to Dallas and he won some games and he started to change the culture, ultimately it's still going to be, well, Jerry Jones had the nerve and had the gut instincts to go and find the Deion Sanders and bring him in and have him install his culture into the franchise, and not giving Deion any credit, but giving Jerry Jones the credit for putting Deion Sanders on. And like, no. We ain't having that, because I know how ESPN like to spin that stuff, particularly when the Dallas Cowboys are successful. Is Jerry Jones getting credit for finding the right coach, not the right coach bringing the right mentality and attitude to the Dallas Cowboys? I just know how that would have been spent, and we ain't having it. I'm tired of talking about this franchise. They get on my nerves. I'm not even a Cowboys fan, and they get on my damn nerves. Just every year, almost it's in the point where it's every week. It's something with them. Like they looking at this person, or they're talking about bringing this person into free agency, or this coach has so many years left on this contract. What are they going to do? Are they going to re-up with him? Are they going to try to renege with him, renegotiate, and all this other stuff? I'm tired of hearing about the Dallas Cowboys, because they don't do anything impressive anymore. It's like they're not. It's like I don't know, man. It's just they need to do some soul searching, especially in that front office, and fast. Otherwise, they're just going to stay being the. I hate to call them an irrelevant powerhouse, but that's what they are. They are an irrelevant powerhouse when it comes to being mainstream in the national. When it comes to being mainstream in the world of sports, are they still a powerhouse as far as being a mainstream? Absolutely, because we talk about them, but they're irrelevant. They are absolutely irrelevant, and until Jerry Jones just lets it go, we're gonna keep doing this year in and year out, because they don't do nothing impressive anymore. They're just pressed.
What the hell they gonna do as far as soul searching and stuff? What, Hooters? That's the best type of soul searching they're gonna do. They're gonna go for wings and beer. What type of soul searching are they gonna do? They're gonna exchange exchange Thanksgiving meals and Christmas cards and all that other stuff. That's what
I
they're
mean,
gonna
we
do.
said it. We said it though. We know what they need to do. It's just a matter of if they're gonna have the nerve to do it. We know what they
Jerry,
need to do. Will they do it?
no, not this
Exactly.
time too. Not at this particular time. Jerry ain't gonna do that. Jerry's like, look, I'm still gonna collect my $8 billion. This franchise worth a ton of money. I'd be a damn fool if I turned that down. So guess what? Even though I would love to win a Super Bowl, but I still want to do things my way. And the worst thing, and I said this, the worst thing that ever happened to the Dallas Cowboys was when Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson, replaced him with Barry Switzer, and won the Super Bowl. That gave Jerry the validation. I don't need a great head coach. I don't need a great GM. I don't need all the great ingredients. I'm going to do it my way. And he won. And guess what? He's been doing it his way for 30 years, and you've only managed to win 4 playoff games. So let that sink in. Let's sink in that every team in that division has been to a conference championship game, and you haven't since 95. I was 2 years old. Y'all were at least 7 or 10 years old at that time.
I was 8 years old in 1995. I was in third grade.
I turned 10 in 95.
So that goes to show you just how long it's been since the Super Bowl. And Jerry, man, look, Jerry is a great businessman, but Jerry, I don't know what you've been drinking. Either you've been on some Don Julio or something. By the way, Jerry, don't even think about entertaining yourself with that Don Julio Popeyes sandwich. That's a story for another day. Don't entertain yourself into that. Go ahead. Go, say it. No, say it.
Good. I'm good.
I may try that.
Only thing I've been seeing, everybody been holding that damn ball on that damn head every time they have Don Julio. So what the hell they gonna do now? They can put the chicken sandwich on one side and damn Don Julio on the other side. What the hell? I just gotta ask that question. Popeye, that is some if you want to know my thoughts on that, go to the Boondocks and look up Uncle Ruckus and you'll see my opinion on that at this point in time, because I ain't never seen
that Uncle Ruckus no relation.
That is some powerful stuff right there, and I ain't never seen. I mean, like I said, everybody got that damn box. We didn't do that back in the day. I hate to sound like the bitter old man, but we didn't do that back in the day. You hold that damn bottle, in your head. So you go hold the bottle on one head. You gonna have chicken sandwich on the side of your ear, act like you're on the phone. What I don't know what that's gonna be. That is gonna be an interesting deal to see. And yeah, it's January. I'm back on my diet. I can't eat no chicken sandwich right now. So that's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see is they gonna dip the tequila in the chicken or what? I don't know what they gonna do. That is a very look. I ain't never look. I can look. If Modelo and Popeyes had teamed up, chicken and beer. I mean, chicken and beer always go good together.
That Ludacris album was fire back in the day, though.
Exactly, and chicken and beer always go good. And chicken and beer always go good together, especially when it's spicy. So, if they would have teamed up, okay. But you put tequila. I don't even know if you can drink it. I can't even in my heyday, I couldn't drink no tequila behind no damn chicken. And you gonna be calling Earl for many days. You gonna be calling Earl many days. And if you don't know where Earl is, you're gonna be going out. Hey, you do that if you want to. Eat your Popeyes sandwich and drink you some tequila. You gonna go outside. You gonna be feeding the animals before it's all said and done. So I don't know what to say on that one.